Good morning and welcome to another market review session with the Market Trader. I'm Ray, the Market Trader, and let's start it. Let's go ahead and start off with our risk disclosure. Again, just a reminder that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to solicit to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Testimonials appearing on the company's website may not be representative of the clients or customers. It is not a guarantee of future performance or success. Use of this information contained herein is intended to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does contain a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation and offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right. So now that we've gotten the risk disclosure out of the way here, we'll go ahead and start to take a little review here of the news, see what news we have in store here that could impact us today. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up the portal here. So we have some Trump meetings that are taking place today. Looks like Trump is meeting with President Macron from France. Okay, we have some note yields. Note yields are reporting at 1 p.m. today. And then we have, I guess, a press report with the results of Trump meeting with President Macron. Okay, so a lot of headline news with respect to Trump that could potentially affect the markets. Okay, something to keep in mind. Okay. All right. So now that we've gotten through the risk disclosures here, not risk disclosures, but the financial news, we'll go ahead and open up the portal here and begin to review the markets. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do just that. So we'll open up the portal. Okay, here. All right. Where is my portal? There it is. Okay. There's the portal. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the start off like the normal market that we normally start off with, and that's the gold. Okay. So again, we start off with just kind of a macro view of the markets, right? We start off with a daily chart and get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. We're going to remove some of our drawings here. We'll turn off a couple of our indicators here and just get a sense for what the market is trying to accomplish. Well, as you can see, the gold market has been in quite a run. Okay, bullish run here. Okay, we closed off the week or with a somewhat of a meek kind of bearish candle, and we've opened the week with yet another bullish candle. Okay, developing nonetheless, but bullish. Okay, you can see here supported by volume here. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're going to go ahead and turn off initial balance here. Okay, and we'll take a look here. You can see that we're starting to break structure here for a continued move to the upside. We have again a very strong developing bullish candle that is supported by volume. Okay, is here. Okay, so again, nothing on the 4-hour that indicates anything different than further upside opportunities in the gold market. All right, looking at the 30-minute chart. 30-minute chart, we have price is above our daily VWAP. We are a bit, I would say, a little bit extended. We've broken some structure here to the left here, and we have some additional structure here that we are headed towards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and mark this area here as a potential area for target in price. Okay. So this 29.72 level, okay, has the potential of being somewhat resistant to further price. Okay. So let's also open up our fixed range volume profile and see where price is in relation to to last week, in this case Friday's volume here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and do just that here. Okay. There we are. All right. So you can see that price is above value. All right. And again, another indicator that the bulls are very much in control of the market here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this value area high line, because this will serve as a potential reference level that would support maybe a continuation trade. Notice how price left this value area, has came back to that value area, and was not able to, I guess, technically close, but was not able to sustain through this value area. So this area around 29.55, the expectation is that this will continue to be supportive of this market. Okay. We're going to go ahead and open up our initial balance. Okay. Since we are technically in the session has already opened here. So we're going to go ahead and move this not to Asia, but to the regular session here. Okay. So there we are. All right. So there's our initial balance range. Okay. The next thing that we're going to add to this chart is our average daily range levels. Okay. So we have average daily range up above, and we have ASR here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and modify that to London. Well, it's already London. So you can see a lot of confluence here around this 29.73.5 level. Okay. So this area right here could prove to be an area that might be a bit resistant to price. Okay. So something to keep in mind. It could offer us maybe a little bit of a pullback here, just similar to what we had here. Okay. Otherwise, if we do cross it, then this will be an area of maybe that we can lean on as far as support, but it needs to clearly break that level. Now you can see that volume, okay, volume seems to be supportive of this current move. All right. So next thing that I'm going to add to this chart is our price levels. Okay. Price levels that I'm going to be tracking in this market. It might require a little bit of adjustment on the ASR side. But let's see if we can go ahead and open that up here. Okay, and we'll open up our price levels here. Add them to the chart. Okay, so here are our price levels that we'll add to the chart. Like I said, might need to modify the average session range here a bit okay, so we have 29.73.5. okay, is what I'd like to modify here. Okay. All right. And then on the average session low, we have 29.41.9. 29.41.9 is our average session range low. Okay. And then we're going to spot check these other levels. We have value area high coming in at 29.54. So we'll modify that a little bit. 29.54.70. Okay, so that's our value area high, and then our value area low is coming in at 29.43. Value area low. Okay, well, that's where the intolerance is. We have point of control at 29.49. Okay, and then our settlement price is coming in at 29.53.20. Okay, so like I had mentioned, okay, we are a bit extended here to the upside in the gold market. Okay, we're well past or well above the our daily VWAP. I'm going to go ahead and add our anchor VWAP to the start of London, or let's actually add it here. Okay, so you can see that our anchor VWAP for London, that gives me kind of a perspective on the London sentiment. Okay, price is also above our anchor VWAP. Okay, so So, what to make of this market? Well, right now, I would say that we need to look for opportunities to participate to the long side. But I'm not super keen in participating to the long side as we're approaching some ranges here that could be resistant. Okay, so I need one of two things to happen. I need either price to extend above with some volume. Okay, right? Extend above with some volume, all right, like this. And then maybe I can participate on the pullback, okay? The other scenario would be that I wait for maybe a pullback down to, if this I know this is would be pretty significant here, but if I get some sort of pullback, down to VWAP or anchor VWAP or daily VWAP, that could also offer me a location for continuation move to the upside. Okay, based on the daily, based on the 4 hour, the higher time frame is saying that we should be focused in on bullish opportunities. Okay, so I'm not willing to take a bullish opportunity at the highs, right? I'm willing to take bullish opportunities on any sort of pullback that we get in the market here. Okay. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for in the gold. We have our reference levels to kind of keep an eye on. I'm personally looking for some sort of pullback here to some sort of known, like either VWAP or anchor VWAP level, to offer me maybe an opportunity here where I can take an execution to the upside. Okay. Good morning, Marcelo. But nonetheless, the market does remain bullish. Okay, the only caveat here, and the only thing that is causing me to maybe pause here, is the fact that we are coming up to some average session range and average daily range highs. Okay. In addition, that we also have an kind of some structure here on the 30-minute side where price has sold off here in the past. Okay, so what's causing me pause here at the moment. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at in the gold market. Again, I think we need to look for opportunities for bullish trades. I'm not so sure that it's at this level here. Ideally, we'd like to see some sort of pullback into some sort of known level here to support our risk in this in the trade. Okay. So with that said, we're going to kind of look here to see if there's any questions. I don't see them. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay. It's the next market on the list here. Okay, so we see that market, I guess overnight has found, I guess, some support here around 70. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pop into the hey Robin. We're gonna pop into the daily chart here and take a look and see what the daily chart has to say. We're gonna go ahead and turn off our ADR levels. We're gonna turn off initial balance here for the moment. We're about 10 minutes away. We're going to remove all our drawings. Oh, actually, we're going to go ahead and leave the drawings here. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and turn that off there. Okay. So we're going to start off with the daily chart, and you can see that we still remain in somewhat, almost more than somewhat, bearish structure here, right? We continue to make lower lows and lower highs, lower highs, lower lows. We continue to move in that. Now, again, I think we've said this before. We continue to creep into an area where we could potentially find some support here. Okay, so we've 70 level is certainly an area that I would think that this would has the potential of being supportive, but and then as low as 67 seems to be the areas that I would be focused on. So I went ahead and drew in a kind of a support zone, a demand zone of sorts here in this market. All right, but I do understand that while price is kind of slowing here a bit, I still remain in bearish structure. Okay, moving down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. It's kind of evaluating maybe some opportunities here in the crude oil to see if it would create a situation here, maybe to the bullish side, and did not. It continued to the downside. So we're going to go ahead and remove some of these drawings here. Okay. Price does remain hovering right on top of VWAP here, okay, and volume remains to the downside, okay. Volume is supportive of continuation move to the downside, okay. So let's go ahead and open up our 30-minute chart and see what that has to say here. So during the overnight, really didn't make much progress here. I don't know. This seems to be a little bit of an anomaly here. Not exactly sure what happened in this bar, but ever since that bar, we've been in this kind of consolidation range. Okay, no, no real trend to speak of. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile, get a sense for where price is in relation to value. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and locate the start of Friday here, drag that across to the close of Friday. All right. And you can see here, we still remain below below value. Okay. Again, indicating that maybe we do have a fair number of sellers holding positions here. Okay. Now, what I will say is that if we do manage to close above, say 70.65, then there's a reasonable chance that we could get an value area acceptance opportunity created here, right? So I'm going to go ahead and add a line here. Okay, this is my kind of resistance line. Initial balance, like I said, is still about 10 minutes away from forming here. So right now, I would say that, given that price is kind of consolidating around this value area, not value area, VWAP, okay, if we can get price to close above 70.65, it could create an opportunity for us to maybe see price traverse through the entire range of value. That's certainly not out of the realm of possibility here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and open up my ADR. Okay, so we are on the top end of ADR here. Okay, and then also do the same with ASR here. Okay, let's see if I can find ASR in this list of indicators. Okay, there it is. All right. So there's ASR. All right. So these are all ASR are London levels. Okay. So we are kind of on the top end of the range. We've come into, again, another area here that appears to be supportive around 70. Now, the question is, do we make a new low? If we make a new low, I would say that it opens up 69.60 to the downside. If we hold here, okay, and start to develop some structure, maybe potentially break initial balance to the upside, then maybe we have an opportunity that takes us up to 70, 80, and potentially beyond. Okay, given that this could also serve as kind of a value area acceptance opportunity here. Okay, this is what I'm looking at here, right? This being value area high. If we do manage to break above 70.67 and ultimately above 70.83, that could take us all the way up to potentially value area high here. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and add our price reference levels to this market here. Okay. So these are the levels that we're going to be tracking in this market. Okay. So I have my 4-hour demand. I have my value area low here. We're going to modify that to 70.57 here. Okay. 70.57 is our value area low. Our value area high is coming in at 71.74. So we'll modify that 71.74. Okay. And then let's see, we got 70.83 as our average session range high. 70.65 seems to be okay on the daily range side, and an average session range low is 69.60. Okay, so these are the levels that we're tracking in this market. Like I said, right now, if we do, again, right now, bears do still appear to remain in control of this market. Okay, so again, the path, I would say, of least resistance would be lower. Okay. And I would say that 69.60 serves as a reasonable target for that possible move. Okay. This is kind of what I'm seeing here. Okay. This is a possibility here. Okay. From 70.22 down to 69.60 would make for a very nice execution. Okay. We're about 6 minutes away from the initial balance, so I'm going to wait for this initial balance to establish. I do see that price is already below my VWAP, but it's been hovering above and below my VWAP because it's been in some sort of range here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add our anchor VWAP to the start here. Okay, so you can see that price is below our anchor VWAP. All right, we still, like I said, do not have initial balance because we're still 5 minutes away from the open of the market here. Okay. So yeah, so I would say that the path, I would say, given the structure that we're seeing, still remains to the downside. Okay. I would say that 69.60 seems to be an area if we wanted to take an execution to the upside, assuming we got the price events to support that. 69.60 seems like a reasonable area for price to potentially reverse. Until then, I would say that the path of least resistance is lower, okay, and that we should continue to look for bearish opportunities. All right. Let's go ahead and move into the equity markets. Okay. So we'll go ahead and open up the equities here. I didn't necessarily have to do that. I could have stayed. Sure. Okay. Go ahead and open up equity markets here. Okay. So equity markets, we could see that a little bit of a sell-off here, more than a little bit of a sell-off at the close of the week here. And now it feels like it feels more like a retracement of some sort, maybe for another leg, potential lower. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily chart before we commit to anything here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my drawings. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my ADR and ASR. Okay. And really just get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay. You can see that this level here around 22,250 seems to be an area of resistance, right? It came up to it and reversed away from it. Okay. On the bullish side, I would call this area down here, right around 21,000, as an area of potential support. Okay, in this market. All right, this area right here does appear to be supportive for me. Okay. Now, what is price doing? Well, it seems to be in a range, right? We're bouncing between ranges. We're bouncing between 22,250 and 21,000. When we've been in this range for some time now. Okay. Since at the end of December, not really picking any sort of direction as of yet. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. Okay. We had a series of candles. Okay. Yeah, it's certainly possible, Frizu. Not out of the question that it could. Okay. The only issue is that when, right, Frizu? Okay, we've been kind of in range for some time. Friday was particularly bearish, right? We had a bearish action going on. But yeah, we have to respect the fact that we have not really moved into yet a trend of any sort, right? We've been kind of bouncing between. Okay. Now, what's interesting on the 4-hour, I see that we've kind of hit our head here a few times, and we finally broke down. Now we've come down to an area of support. Can't say that I'm overly impressed with the bullish candles that I'm seeing here. Okay. So this could be an indication that maybe we get a little bit of a retracement, right? We get a little bit of a retracement to some sort of known level here, and we continue our leg lower. Okay, That's kind of what I'm seeing. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Okay, so you can see that little leg that I had drawn here does appear to be more of a retracement rather than a directional move as of yet. Okay, not really breaking any sort of structure as of yet to the upside. I think if we do manage to get above 21,800, maybe there is a further maybe an upside. Maybe that could take us all the way up to maybe 21,990. That's kind of a little consolidation area that I see there. Okay. We'll go ahead and open up the fixed range volume profile here. Okay. Fixed range volume profile. We're going to locate the start of Friday here. Okay. Drag that across to the close of Friday. All right. And you can see that we are well inside balance, right? So no real, edge one way or the other. Price is inside the value range of Friday. Okay. So and we could stay in this range. There's really nothing that tells us that we cannot stay in this range. So areas of importance for me will be value area high and value area low until they are broken. Okay. These areas are, if we are going to remain in range, these areas are going to be resistant on the upside and supportive on the downside. Okay. So initial balance is still ways away here. We're about half hour away from the markets here. We'll go ahead and see. I'm going to go ahead and add my anchored VWAP here and look for London. There's London. So London seems to be supportive of maybe some further upside possibilities in this market. Maybe this might be a little bit of a repair day. Okay. We had a lot of single prints here getting established here on Friday. So this possibly could be somewhat of a repair day. I don't know if it's going to repair the entire range, whether it gets to about 50, 60% of the range. But I would say that we probably should focus our attention more so on the bearish side than say on the bullish side. Okay. So I'm going to be waiting for the initial balance range to establish here before I take on any sort of executions. I'm going to go ahead and add our price levels to this chart. Okay, we'll take a look at this. Okay, so we have 22,290. That's up here in this range here. That's a supply zone. We're going to go ahead and add our ADR and ASR to this chart now that we've kind of done our higher time frame review. Okay, so you can see here that we have some zones here. And again, I don't know how many Fibonacci kind of folks that we have in the room here, but I suspect that maybe these ranges, if I did a measure here, now got me curious. If I did a measure from here to here, that these ranges actually end up being, well, this one here is the 38%. Okay. That would be aggressive, right? And then we have 50%, and between 50 and 60%, we have the value area high. Okay. So this here, yeah. So these areas here could offer us, these retracement levels could offer us zones for continuation opportunity. Okay. Let's see here. We're at the 25%. Let's see. Remove that. Oops. Okay. All right. But I think there is some confluence there. Okay. Some confluence in our retracement levels that could offer us maybe some opportunities for locations and on for a continuation move to the downside. So I'm going to be focused in on average session range and average daily range. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure that we have those correct. So I have 21,899. Okay, is the average session range high. Then we have 21,651. 651 is my average session range low. Okay, And then we have average daily range low down further at 21,552. Okay, 552. That's right about here. Modify that. Okay. Let's see what else we have. 21,968. Actually, that needs to be modified as well. It's more like 987. Okay, is our value area high. Point of control is down below here, 21,688. That seems to be in order. We have settlement down at 21,677, so down below here. Okay. So yeah, since I'm it appears that I'm in range, I'm going to be focused in on not being a part of the range, but looking at the extremes of ranges. Okay, so in this case, we're inside value, so I'm going to be focused in on the extremes of ranges. So 21,987.50 would be an area that I would be focused in on. 21,664 would be another. Okay, that I would be focused in on. And should price get into one of those levels, then I would expect some sort of movement, some sort of event to take place. Either if we kind of retrace back to that level, that could be an area where we see a continuation, move to the downside. Okay, so that would be kind of my area to focus in on. Okay, and so until then, we have to wait for the initial balance range to establish, and that will give us some secondary indication of what direction that they'd like to take the market. Whatever break of range they decide to go with, it will be another kind of indication as to where they would like to this market. Okay. So we are seeing, again, pre-market, right? We are seeing a little bit of bearish candles here. Okay. We see a little bit of support here. We're seeing some selling coming in here a little bit. We had a lot of selling on Friday. Okay. So the question is this going to be a repair day where we come up maybe to some levels before we make that next leg lower? Or that seems to be the path, I would say. Okay. I don't see us repairing this entire range. Okay. I see us maybe repairing a portion of that range and continuing to the downside. Okay. Let's take a look at the ES here. Okay, I don't see any questions folks have on NASDAQ. So we'll take a look at the ES. We'll go ahead and remove our drawings here. We'll start with the daily, okay, here, okay, and see what the daily is telling us. You're welcome, Frizu. Okay, see what the daily is telling us here. So we're going to go ahead and turn off the ADR, our ADR levels. See if I can get to my ASR level as well. We'll turn that off. Okay. All right. And we'll open up the daily chart here. So you can see that we've been hitting our heads, I guess, the bulls around this 6150 level. Every time we've come up to 6150, it's been met with sellers. Okay. 6150 met with sellers. 6150 met with sellers. Okay, so until we break 6150, I have to think that we are going to continue butting our heads. Okay, until we break 6150, I'm not really, super keen on participating in any sort of upside trade. Okay, possibly if I get down to some of these lows, say 5850, then that might be an area where I might entertain something, but based on where price is at the moment, this area above seems to be an area of resistance, 6150, 6160, right around there. Okay. So market seems to be getting a bit toppy, I would say, losing a little bit of momentum to the upside. Okay. This could easily, we could easily see a move lower. Okay. Moving to the 4-hour chart. Okay, we had our series of candles on Friday, right? That were quite bearish. Okay, and here's that 6160 level. You can see how many times it was not able to get above it, and then finally decided that, okay, well, if we don't have any buyer participation up above, we need to find buyer participation below, and that's exactly what the market did. It moved lower and has found some support here at around 6,030. Okay, at least temporarily. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay. So again, we have our price action here. Price is technically above our VWAP, but that could easily change here. We did have a push above our daily VWAP, but that has since been met with some sellers. Okay. Let's go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. Let's start with the open of Friday and take that to the close of Friday. You can see similarly to NASDAQ, price is well within side value here. Okay, so there is a I guess price is somewhat balanced. Okay, we have even participation now going on between buyers and sellers. Okay, and they seem to be somewhat content in where price is at the moment. Okay, so given the fact that I am in range, well, again, I'm going to be focusing in on the highs of the ranges. Okay, in this case, the value area range. So this area below, I would expect to be supportive. This area above here around 6,100, I would expect to be resistant. So 6,025 to the downside. Okay, that would be an area that I would expect to be supportive. And this area here around 6,100, okay, 6,095 would be an area that I would expect some support. Now, right now, it feels like, given this swing, that we are in for another swing lower. Okay, the question is when. Okay, that's the operative here. Okay, the question is when, but it does feel that we are in for another leg lower. Okay. Let's see. Let's go ahead and open up our anchor VWAP here for the start of London. There it is. Okay. So you can see that price is starting to get below London here. Okay. So we'll go ahead and add our price levels to this chart. Okay, there's our price levels. Here are our price levels to this chart. We'll go ahead and add our ADR and ASR ranges here. Okay, there's our ADR. Okay, and there's our ASR. Okay, so again, these are some areas that could prove to be resistant to price, both to the upside as well as to the downside. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn this off here a little bit. Okay, so this is kind of nice and wide here, so you can get a sense of what price is trying to do here. Okay, I'm going to spot check some of these levels here. We have 60. I'm going to modify my average session range here. Now that we're kind of influenced by London, 675 until the New York session opens up here in about 20 minutes, and then we have 60.34. That's our average session range low. 60.34.25. 34. Okay, 25. That's our average session range low here. Okay, and then average daily range, we have 60.71. That's in check, and then we have 60.09. That's in check. Our value area high is coming in at 60.95, but that's fine. Average is low, is all good. All right. So like I said, I think right now the path of least resistance remains lower. Okay. Assuming we can get a break below 60.48, that would just kind of cement it, I guess, to some degree for me. We are seeing some price action of late that is a bit more bearish. We did have a swing that broke some structure, but no follow through. Okay. So right now we're kind of in the middle of the range. All right. Middle of the value area range. So I'm going to be patient and wait for price to create the initial balance range. And then based on that initial balance range, I'll decide, or let the market decide, which direction they want to take the market. It does feel like there is potential for maybe a downside move in this market. Okay. So we've come up to kind of ADR, not quite to ADR high, and we have a developing bearish engulfing candle as we speak. Initial balance will, or the markets will open up here in about 15 minutes. So we'll know for certain where they want to take things. But that's kind of where we are, where we stand right now. Okay, I would say that the market sentiment going in, I would say it needs to be a bit bearish. Okay, so let's take a look at the just take a look, see if there's any questions. We'll take a look at the last market that of the day here, and that is the Dow. Okay, and we'll go ahead and remove some of our drawings. We'll look at we'll turn off our ADR and ASR for the moment. Okay. All right, and we'll go ahead and open up the daily. Okay, and take a look and see where price is in relation to things. Okay, well, we've come into an area where we could maybe find some buyers. Okay, we had a strong, kind of two days here, Thursday and Friday, where we had a little bit of a kind of a sell-off here, and now we are starting to come into an area, maybe as some minor support. Certainly support here down at 42.5. Okay, this seems to be far more a stronger support here. Okay, but nonetheless, this was an area of prior resistance that was broken, and often what was resistant becomes support. Okay, so this area right here could be an area of support in this market here. Okay, so we'll have to see how this plays out for the remainder of the day. But for now, it does look like we are, maybe coming into a little bit more of a bearish move here. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart. We had a series of higher highs and lower highs and lower lows. Okay, now the question is, are we going to get a lower low? Okay, it looks like we are establishing potential lower high here. We have a developing bearish engulfing candle on the 4-hour chart here on the end. Okay, so that could serve as maybe an indication that we might see another leg lower, similar to what we had here, right? We had a little bit of retracement followed by a series of bearish. A retracement, we have a bearish engulfing candle that's getting established here. Maybe that is an indication for a continuation move to the downside. All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. Here we have, again, we have price hanging around our VWAP, hanging around that range that we had established on the daily. Okay, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile, take a look and see where price is in relation to price action that we received on Friday. Okay, and again, we are inside value, inside balance. So the focus needs to remain on the edges of these ranges, right? So value area high is going to be one such range. Okay, I'm going to make that kind of a resistant area. Okay, value area low, another area is going to be offer us maybe opportunities. This is probably going to be a little bit more supportive. Okay, so this 43,870. I'm going to actually adjust this a little bit more, like 865. And then to the downside, we have 420, 43,420. Now, the market, okay, assuming that it does hold this level, it'll be interesting to see if we can get above 43,823. If price starts to get below my VWAP, okay, starts to get below my VWAP, then I would say that we start to, and break structure, I would say it needs to get below 43,650. Then I would say that we have a reasonable chance to get to value area low. Okay, so let's so this is kind of what I'm thinking, right? If price can get below this, okay, then I would say that we have a opportunity to get down to here. Okay, if price manages to hold VWAP, okay, hold VWAP, okay, here, and get above 43,829, then maybe we have a possibility maybe for another leg higher. Okay, now I have to be conscious of the fact that we did have a little bit of a sell-off. So sellers could step in here at any moment in time here. I would especially expect them to be a little bit aggressive here around 44,300, which was before pre-market here on Friday. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and add my anchored VWAP here just to see where London is relation to all of this. So price remains below our anchor VWAP from London. It's kind of hovering below or above our daily VWAP. Not sure exactly which side that is. Seems like right on top of it at the moment. So don't have any price levels here, but I've identified 43,865 on the top side, 43,417 to the bottom side. I'm going to go ahead and open up my ADR here. We've already reached ADR and we've gotten a little bit of a reversal away from it. I'm going to go ahead and open up ASR. We have a little bit of room for ASR here at 43,000, just above my value ranges. Okay. So, yeah, I think, again, coming into an area of demand with 10 minutes remaining here in the, before we start to receive, okay, this area right here, I would expect to be somewhat, we got a push higher, got to push higher. Now we've come back to retest the conviction of these buyers. So far, they really haven't stepped in with any sort of vigor. Okay. So the question is whether this is going to remain a demand zone or not. If this area gets broken, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance to get down to 43,523 and possibly all the way down to value area low. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the Dow, guys. So we'll take a peek here to see if there's any comments or questions. I don't see them. I would say that right now, overall, I would say the equities look bearish. Okay. And that we should look and wait for opportunities where we could potentially sell strength. Okay. Ideally, say, value area high or some sort of location like that. Maybe the bottom side of the average session range highs or average daily range highs could also be another area where we could look for reversals in price. Okay. So yeah, I think with that, I think we'll go ahead and close the session. Encourage those folks, in addition to hitting the likes, to don't be hesitant to make a comment or two on how this analysis is supporting you and your efforts in analyzing the markets. And as we close every session, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have an excellent day trading, and we'll talk soon.